Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something you see, well, pretty much every day, but it's undergoing this massive kind of silent transformation: product packaging.
Yeah, it's
For
fascinating.
decades, packaging was just, a static billboard, limited space.
Right.
But our sources are showing that world is basically over. The package itself is now becoming this really crucial digital touch point.
hmm
And it seems it's designed specifically to earn consumer trust right there at the point of purchase.
That's exactly it. And that transformation is happening because, let's face it, consumer doubt is, well, it's really high right now.
Sure.
So the core mission behind this shift, and it's driven by some major industry and regulatory changes we'll get into, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
A shopper should be able to just scan a code on your product and boom, instantly get verified answers, batch-specific answers.
Instantly.
Resolve that doubt in like seconds. And if you do that, you build trust, and that, our sources show, leads directly to repeat purchases.
And this isn't just some future idea, is it? It's happening now. You mentioned forces driving it.
Oh, absolutely. It's very much here and now.
Yeah.
Two massive forces. First, there's something the retail world is calling Sunrise 2027.
Sunrise 2027. Okay.
Okay. It's basically this global push aiming for all retail checkouts points of sale to be ready to accept and process 2D codes. QR codes, data matrix codes.
Like the square ones we see more of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just as easily as they currently handle the standard linear UPC barcodes we all know.
Got it. That's huge. And the second force?
The second one, and this particularly impacts brands selling into Europe, though the idea is spreading, is the Digital Product Passport, DPP.
DPP. Right. Heard about that.
You can think of it as a kind of mandated digital ID card for a product. It comes from the EU's eco-design for sustainable products regulation,
Okay.
and it requires a structured way for brands to show verified facts. Things like origin, materials, durability, environmental impact, across the product's whole life cycle.
Yeah.
Verified is the key word there.
Yeah.
Verified. Okay, so putting this together. Sunrise 2027 making scanners ready for 2D codes and DPP demanding verified info. For any mid-sized CPG brand listening, the takeaway really is your physical package is now basically your main digital product page.
That's it. You're not confined to those few inches of label anymore.
Oh.
Exactly. And that digital product page, well, it only works, it's only successful if you really design that scan experience for maximum speed and ultimately loyalty.
Speed and loyalty.
So our goal in this deep dive is really to unpack the practical ways to do that. How do you execute that scan effectively, turn it into a real competitive edge that can even strengthen your sort of fair pricing power?
Okay, let's dive into that. If those first 10 seconds are absolutely critical, shoppers in the aisle, phone out, scanning the package, what information needs to pop up immediately? Their doubts are high, like you said, but shouldn't we be hitting them with like the brand story, compelling marketing first?
That's such a common first thought, and it's where a lot of brands initially miss the mark. Marketing is vital, obviously.
Yeah.
But that very first screen after the scan, it absolutely has to tackle the practical, often safety-related information right away.
Okay, practical first.
Yeah. Our sources consistently show the strongest opening immediately answers about 5 core doubts, the things that cause that purchase anxiety.
5 things. What are they?
Okay. Date clarity. What do these dates mean? Ingredients, what's actually in this batch? Health claims, are they backed up? Allergens, clear and specific? And crucially, where did this specific item come from? Its origin.
Hold on. Why there's basic facts over, say, a really engaging brand video right at the start?
Because facts build trust faster than claims, especially in that moment of doubt. And the key detail here, the really important part, is that this info must be tied to the actual batch the shopper is holding.
Ah, the batch, not just general info.
Exactly. It's not enough to link to a generic product page or brochure. You need to show the specific dates, ingredients, origin for that item in their hand. That batch-specific detail, it just cuts through the doubt instantly.
Oh.
It lowers the mental effort needed for the consumer to feel confident and, well, put it in their cart.
Okay, that makes sense. I think the example of date label confusion really hits home there.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, most of us have probably tossed something just because we weren't sure about best by versus use by.
And that confusion, it's costly. For the consumer, sure, but also hugely for the supply chain. Food waste is a massive issue.
Yeah.
And organizations like Refe point directly to this confusion as a major driver of perfectly good food being thrown away.
So scanning could fix that.
It helps immensely. A clear, scannable explanation right there, how to store it, what the specific dates on this package mean.
Yeah.
It completely shifts the consumer's view. You're providing a service, not just selling a product.
Right.
And when you solve that problem,
Yeah.
you see customer reviews change. They shift from complaints about, it went bad too fast to actual appreciation for the help and clarity.
Yeah.
It's a service interaction.
That clarity example, it highlights not just what info is needed, but how fast it needs to appear.
Exactly.
Because speed, fundamentally, that's part of trust in any digital interaction, isn't it?
Absolutely essential.
If your landing page takes, I don't know, 8-10 seconds to load because the store Wi-Fi is weak,
You've lost them.
yeah, that initial trust just evaporates.
It does. The page has to be lightweight. Super lightweight. And because speed is so critical, it pushes you towards substance over, let's say, flashy style, especially on that first screen.
Okay.
So a key implementation tip for the sources: try replacing marketing adjectives with hard numbers and replace slogans with verifiable artifacts.
Artifacts, I like that term. You mean like concrete proof points?
Yes, exactly. Specific, tangible evidence. Things that feel solid.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, it could be a small map, maybe optimized so it loads instantly, showing key origin points for that batch. Or maybe a dated audit reference number that, ideally links out to a third-party site.
Yeah.
Or even just a certificate number they could check later.
Got it. Things that feel real.
Yeah, they feel much more credible than just a paragraph of nice-sounding prose. And there's a good language check, too. If a sentence would sound kind of weird or unnatural, spoken out loud in a store.
Right.
Like our unwavering dedication to artisanal purity drives our unique process,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. A bit much.
Right. If it sounds like that, it probably doesn't belong on that crucial first screen. Keep it helpful, keep it concise, make it actionable.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift to the mechanics of this proof. If we're talking batch-specific data, that sounds like a pretty big tech lift for brands.
It can be, yeah.
The sources talk about the scan being a small performance that earns trust. So what actually constitutes that verifiable proof? How do you deliver it?
Well, it needs that concrete batch-level proof we talked about. And typically, the best way to handle this is using GS1 QR codes.
GS1 QR codes. Different from regular QR codes.
Yes, they're specifically designed by GS1, the standards body, to carry more complex dynamic data, including things like batch numbers, dates, serial numbers, alongside the basic product ID. You're basically moving past just saying it's natural or it's local to showing the digital receipt for it.
Okay, showing the receipt. I like that. The receipt for what, specifically? What are the absolute must-have data points for that proof?
We're talking concrete identifiers, definitely the badge or lot number for that specific item, the actual pack date and use by or best by date.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, references to relevant audit or lab testing records, maybe with dates.
Yeah.
And those specific certificate IDs, you mentioned things like organic, non-GMO, that ideally can click through to the actual source document or certifying body's database.
Okay. And what about video? Can that work?
Video can work, but it needs to be handled carefully. If a brand uses video for proof, say showing a farm or a process, keep it super tight, like half a minute max. Very short. And critically, film it where the work actually happens. Don't make it look like a slick, highly produced ad. The tone has to stay helpful, informative.
Yeah.
It should never feel like a sales pitch in that context.
Got it. Helpful, not hype. Now, this focus on proof and specific codes brings up a really practical challenge facing everyone right now. Retailers, CPGs, which is this whole idea of placement and dual marking during the Sunrise 2027 transition. Why are we going to be seeing two different barcodes on packages for a while? Seems confusing.
Yeah, it can seem that way, but dual marking is really a necessary transition phase. It's because the back-end checkout systems, the scanners at the till, they haven't all caught up yet globally to reading those 2D codes.
Ah, okay. So the old barcodes still needed for checkout.
Exactly. The familiar linear barcode, the UPC or EAN, that's still essential today for just identifying the item and reaming it up correctly at the point of sale.
Right.
The 2D code, the QR code usually, is there purely to add all that rich data for the consumer. The batch info, the origin, the disposal instructions. It's a temporary necessity, really, to keep everything working during this massive global upgrade.
So if you have two codes, placement suddenly becomes really important. It can't just be slapped on as an afterthought by the marketing team.
Oh, absolutely not. Placement is critical. It needs to be treated as a primary packaging design decision, right alongside branding and mandatory info.
So where should they go? What are the rules?
Generally, keep the 2D code relatively close to the existing linear code so people understand they're related to the same product. But crucially, avoid putting it right on package edges or creases or those crimped areas on bags.
Why is that? Distortion.
Exactly. Distortion makes it hard to scan. And you also have to ensure what the tech folks call clean, quiet zones, basically empty space around the code. That helps scanners, both the big ones at retail and just consumer phones, read it reliably.
Quiet zones. Okay.
But maybe the most crucial practical tip is simple accessibility. Shoppers have to be able to see and scan that 2D code easily, without having to pick the product up and turn it around multiple times, or peel back a flap, or hold down a curly label with their finger.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It has to be instantly scannable right there on the shelf.
So that dual code strategy, if it's done clearly, it actually becomes kind of a teaching moment for the shopper, doesn't it?
Precisely.
This barcode is for the register, okay. But this QR code, this one's for you. It's got the answers you want, where it came from, allergens, how to recycle it.
Exactly. It clearly signals that the brand is embracing transparency and thinking about the consumer's needs first, beyond just the transaction.
Right. Okay, let's pivot a bit to strategy. If putting in the effort to verify and publish all this batch-specific data is, pretty intensive.
It is.
The sources seem very clear. Don't try to boil the ocean. Don't start everywhere at once.
Definitely not.
So how should a CPG brand choose where to start? Which products get this treatment first?
You've got to be strategic. Start where the scan is going to deliver the biggest impact, the most value, and generate the most loyalty early on.
Where's that typically?
Pick products that inherently carry either high consumer anxiety.
Anxiety, like safety concerns.
Yeah, safety or maybe ethical concerns, or products with extremely high information value, where details really matter to the purchase decision.
Okay, give me some examples.
Think about categories like infant products, baby food, formula, huge anxiety there, right?
Absolutely.
Or specific free-from snacks, where verifying the free-from claim is paramount for allergy sufferers. Or maybe dairy products, where proving specific farm practices like animal welfare or pasture access is a key reason people choose one brand over another.
Right, where the details really differentiate.
Exactly. Starting in those categories gives you the fastest learning curve on what works, and you see the strategic payoff much more quickly.
And this seems to connect directly back to providing that batch-level proof and how it affects what consumers think is fair value. There was that Swiss research mentioned, ETH Zurich.
Yes, that ETH Zurich study is really interesting. It gets at the heart of credibility and willingness to pay.
What did it find?
Essentially, it showed that shoppers are willing to pay a bit more when the signals for certain values, things like sustainability or animal welfare or fair labor, are perceived as credible.
Credible meaning?
Meaning the brand doesn't just claim high standards, they provide verifiable proof, ideally linked right to that specific item or batch.
Ah, okay. Back to the move.
Right. So by using that 2D code to deliver verified data,
Yeah.
maybe linking to that farm audit or the material certification, you actively strengthen the customer's perception that your price point is fair for the value delivered.
So it can actually support pricing power.
It gives you a tangible justification. You're effectively saying, look, we invested in doing things this way, and here's the proof you can check yourself. That builds a really strong sense of fairness.
Okay, moving from the what and why to the how. Making this happen operationally seems like the real hurdle. If a brand commits to this kind of batch-level verification and transparency, this sounds less like a simple marketing update and much more like a pretty significant internal systems change.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
It requires shared ownership right across the organization. This cannot live solely in marketing.
Who needs to be involved?
Well, legal is crucial. They need to be comfortable that every claim being made via that scan is rigorously supported, either by third-party verification or solid internal controls.
Okay.
Quality assurance, or QC, they need to focus on which specific checks and data points actually matter most to reducing that consumer anxiety we talked about. What needs verifying?
Right. Prioritize.
Marketing, of course, owns the user experience, the language, the usability on that tiny phone screen, making sure it's intuitive and helpful.
And IT.
IT is critical for the infrastructure, ensuring the landing page uptime, the speed, the reliability, making sure the data flows correctly.
Seems like clear handoffs would be vital.
Absolutely vital. You need explicit agreement on who owns updating the origin data for each batch, who is responsible for posting the latest audit dates or certificate renewals. If those roles and processes aren't crystal clear, the data integrity breaks down very quickly.
And if the data's wrong,
Then the trust you were trying to build is instantly destroyed, maybe even worse than having no data at all.
which brings us neatly to measurement. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? How do you know if this strategic investment in QR codes and verified data is actually working? Is it really leading to repeat purchases?
Yeah, measurement is key. And the good news is you don't necessarily need super complex analytics, especially when you're starting out or running pilots.
Okay.
Our source material points to 4 pretty simple signals that are good predictors of success. Things any brand manager can track, maybe even weekly.
4 signals. Let's hear them.
Okay, first, the scan rate per 1,000 packs sold. Just, are people actually scanning it?
Makes sense. Baseline engagement.
Second, the time it takes the user to find the first 3 answers on that landing page. How quickly are they getting value?
Ah, speed and efficiency again.
Third, track repeat purchases in your pilot stores, the ones with the new codes, and compare that directly against carefully matched control stores that don't have the codes yet.
The A/B test.
Essentially, yes. Are the codes driving loyalty? And finally, fourth, track the language used in customer complaints and reviews related to that product.
Reading the complaints? That must be really revealing.
Oh, it's incredibly telling. It shows you directly whether those core purchase doubts about freshness, ingredients, allergens, whatever, are actually being resolved by the scan.
Or if new ones are popping up.
Exactly. Is the clarity improving? Or are you maybe creating confusion somewhere else?
Well,
Analyzing those signals together is critical.
how so?
Well, for instance, if your scan rate is high, great, people are engaging. But if the time to answer is also very short, like they leave the page almost immediately.
Means they didn't find what they wanted.
Exactly. It suggests they found the page easily, but it didn't quickly answer their key questions, so they bounced. You've got a content problem to fix.
Okay.
Conversely, if your scan rates are really low to begin with, don't spend time tweaking the content yet. Focus first on improving the code placement on the pack, or maybe the call to action on the shelf that encourages scanning. Fix the visibility first.
Got it. Measure, analyze, then act.
Right. That disciplined measurement process is what turns the QR code from just, a potentially cool feature into a strong, predictable driver of that crucial second purchase and beyond.
This has been a really insightful deep dive. If we try to boil it down to the core takeaway, feels like, if the package is now effectively a digital product page, then you absolutely must design those first 10 seconds of the scan experience with almost obsessive precision.
Obsessive is the good word for it, yeah.
That means instant answers to the key questions, clear verifiable proof, and maybe just one simple, respectful nudge to take a next step. Something like add this to your shopping list or set a reminder for optimal storage.
Right. Keep it focused.
And it seems clarity absolutely beats trying to do everything at once, especially when you're starting out.
Totally agree. Clarity beats scale initially. And this whole transition to 2D codes, it's not some future trend to watch. It's a present-day operational reality.
It's here.
It's here, and it provides that essential mechanism for brands to finally back up their important claims with verifiable, structured data that fundamentally supports the customer's perception of fairness, and ultimately, that builds more sustainable business growth.
So we always like to leave our listeners with a final provocative thought to mull over, building on everything we've discussed.
Right.
If verifiable information is now directly linked to perceived fairness and even pricing power, consider this for your own context. What specific nuanced detail about your product's batch or its origin or maybe a key part of its process? What detail, if verified and shared instantly via a scam, would offer the most profound signal of trust to your customer? Something that moves way beyond the generic claims everyone else makes.
That's a great question.
What piece of information are you truly ready to be the first in your category to verify next?